Well, happy Independence Day in arrears because it was yesterday, but the celebration is still on. Today is the second day of October 2021. Well, Nigeria's 61st independence anniversary has been a major talking point in the month of September leading to the D-Day, which of course was yesterday. Where are we coming from? Where are we right now? And where are we going? That's always been a question over the years anytime we celebrate Nigeria's independence anniversary. But this year's own was quite interesting, and we'll be letting you into all of that in the course of our analysis on the program today. Welcome to Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio with your host, Sonny Duke Okosum. I've got with me in the studio Barrister Adams Aliyu. He's a notary public, a constitutional lawyer, a public affairs commentator. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, viewers.
We also have with us in the studio Reverend Olu Martins. He's a civil society activist, and I want to say especially we appreciate your presence here on the show today. It's been a while.
Thank you for having me.
Bishop Osadolo Oche will be here any moment from now to join in this conversation. As you know the rule that we do not allow you casting aspersion on anyone, whether in the studio or out of the studio. Be as civil as possible with your language, especially when our studio line is open, so you can also call and be part of the conversation. Nigeria at 61 is the topic for today. Gentlemen, thank you again for joining us on the program. Barrister Adams Aliyu has a way of taking us down historical lane, memory lane, how the independence came about, the original vision of our heroes past. To what extent are those visions being realized today? Will those visions ever be realized? Sir Adams Aliyu.
Well, the pre-independence era was glorious, as it were. We got independence on the platter of gold, unlike Angola, South Africa, when lives had to be lost. By 1960, it was good to wave flags in schools to say that Nigeria will hail thee, that though tribes and tongues may differ, we stood in brotherhood. And Nigerians were proud to serve. That here we are, and we gravitate towards the following years. The dreams of our heroes past are not exactly the same. Tribes and tongues, tribalism have taken over the day. The dreams of our founding fathers are no longer there. We don't know where we went wrong. We were thinking that democracy, self-government, dividends will spread across. But now, what are we to show for it, especially in the last 12 months? Poverty, oppression, repression, political conflicts, economic instability. If you take the domain of health, hospitals were few, but they were qualitative. There were dispensaries, health centers all over the place. But now, hospitals are made like consulting arena. Look at agriculture. People were farming, food was cheap, etc. Now, look at economy. The Naira was not in vogue in 1960 when we got independent. We were using British pound. Same pound in England was where you put a pound, 20 shillings, every shilling has 12 pence. The money was there. Today, our Naira has deteriorated to 500 or more to $1. But the surrounding countries have their economy booming up. So we must have made a mistake somewhere. And we are planning and praying that the ensuing years should bring us back to the status quo antebellum, when Nigeria was a pride. People were saying to keep Nigeria one, was a task that must be done. If you sing that song now, nobody may answer you the chorus, and because people from Southwest are talking of Ododuwa. Yeah. People are in Southeast are talking of about Middle Belt. So we must have got it wrong somewhere. Okay. It's a challenge to both leaders and followers to bring back to Nigeria of our dream of our forefathers.
Let me thank very especially Bishop Osadolo Oche for coming on the program. Happy Independence Anniversary.
Okay. Happy New Month, Sonny. Nigeria cannot be in slavery. I'll be saying.
Okay, I'll come to you, Bishop. I just wanted to welcome you. Okay, let me get this started on where we are coming from, where we are right now, and there seems to be a convergence of opinion that this dispensation somehow has worsened the situation as it relates to the challenges Nigeria is facing at the moment.
Thank you very much. I wish that you didn't have to stop.
Bishop Osadolo,
no, barrister, okay. Yes, it was a moving speech. If that was the only thing that today's platform aired, it would have just been fine, because he went on and on how it was in the pre-independence era, immediately after independence. I mean, I'm sure that I'm far from him in terms of age, but I'm also old enough to know that a time was where we were excited about Independence Day, where we went to our schools and marched, and then there was lunch, however it was. And we're all excited to know that we had a country called Nigeria. If you look at it today, things are for the worse. Just before we came on air, I was jocularly saying that if you want to know the trend in Nigeria, you look at the business trends as championed by our Igbo brothers. So if you go to different parts of the state where people sell fashion, where they sell clothes, 5-6 years ago, you will see mannequins in front of their shops where there was green, white, green, and people were coming to buy them. 1 week, 10 days, 2 weeks before the event, people were wearing green caps, people had flags, on their cars, decorations everywhere. Banks and institutions, including ITV, had ribbons, green, white, green, ribbons everywhere. I don't know whether Sonny Duke was here, but at the time they were serving tea on a program like this on Independence Day. So clearly that has also affected ITV. The way we came here, clearly the ITV is also fully full. Now, you understand what I mean, sir? So, but the bottom line is the fact that what you see around everywhere are forlorn, frustrated faces. People are even angry. Somebody put up a joke on Facebook and he says, "Are you wearing green, white, green on Independence Day?" 1, no. 2, yes. 3, I decrease. It will amaze you that people chose, many people, even though it was like a comic, Nigerians have a way of making a joke out of everything. Most people just, chose 3. So you can know that things are far from what they used to be. This is not the country that we desired. And if you now juxtapose this side by side, the president's speech, you are asking yourself whether the speech was just written and dumped in front of the president. Is it connecting, with the people? Nigeria is, is challenged, bedeviled from left, right, and center. Cooking gas is something that you can't even go close to. Every day, food items add up on a daily basis. As at yesterday, dollar was extending at $560, 760 naira per dollar. At the parallel market, 410 at official bank rates. And so there are, issues, everywhere. Children are not, excited. You go and buy a packet of nails today, you get back tomorrow, it's increased. Iron rods, and to think that you read the presidential, you saw a presidential speech that didn't demonstrate empathy, that didn't connect to the people, shows that indeed we have a leadership that is not in tune, that is not in tandem with the feelings, yearning, and aspirations of the people. People are already looking up to 2023 to say, you know what, let's just endure, let's just endure this one, and just, even people are not typically politicians. Everybody is eager as if Jesus, the Messiah, is coming to 2023. So, well, let's consider we made a mistake with this one, and then let's just get into 2023 and see what hopes a change of leadership would offer, to Nigeria going forward.
Okay. All right, Bishop Osadolo, Chair, I don't even know what to ask you now because I don't know
what the response will be.
I don't know what the response will be like. But all the same, at 61, it could have been worse. It could have been worse, but we're grateful to God where we are right now. What are those things agitating your mind as we savor Nigeria's 61st independence anniversary?
Thank you very much. I thank God my brother, Sir Barrister Liu, is here. Because each time we appear on television, I told Nigerians exactly what is ahead of us. And those of
Just sit up a little bit, sir.
Those of us who are partisan politicians will never believe your testimony. Sonny Duke, you are aware that in 2015, I told them what this government that is going to come will do to Nigerians. Because I was privileged to be given opportunity to do 100 years research work over Nigeria, 1914 to 2014. And everything I said is clear. More I see coming. According by Ghana Bob Marley, say how that they come, how that they fall. So let me show you one thing before I go to your program. I have a traveler's check issued on the 14/12/1979 here with me. I don't know how old you are.
Traveler's check.
BTA. Okay. BTA. Against 1980. In that traveler check, $1,000 was 546 naira 45 kobo. $1,000 is purchased with Nigerian money, Nigerian naira, with 546 naira 45 kobo. And today, 546 naira is $1. Okay, how we go take manager? How can we equate this thing? NYC, they say now the suffering don't continue. So, as far as I'm concerned, I have refused to greet anybody happy independence. I have also I refuse to answer anybody happy independence, because there is nothing like happy independence. In 1960, I was already growing up in school, and they gave us cup, they gave us flag. There was something they also gave us, I've forgotten what it is now, what name to call it, which we put in our houses. It's a big emblem. And they cook for us in our school. And from there till when I finished primary, secondary school, every year, they call us to our school to come and cook. They serve us because of independence. That Nigeria is now a country that is given freedom to live from independence to republic. When I started working as a council staff in the 70s, every independent day we go to the office. They buy beer, they buy malt, they cook. We have a VIP list in the council, and state have their own VIP list. The only VIP list now, I don't know whether Barrister Liu is still there, because he's a member of the ruling party. I don't know where he is now. He may be there because of his party acronym. But today, I don't know whether it's still there. Agberu is not chairman. Market woman is not directing affairs of politics. How do you think when people ignore knowledge, illiterate will lead, how will that country look like? I thank God for the announcement of Mr. President yesterday, October 1st, which is a new month. That he now recognize that 18 months running now has been turbulent. There have been problems. Maybe he did not recognize what had been happening since he came aboard. That before him there was nothing called bandit and herdsmen. The only one we had was Boko Haram. And we have evidence of who are masterminders of Boko Haram and what they were experiencing today. And I thank God for one senator from Sokoto State who spoke last week. Yes, I think it should be this week. That bandits should be declared terrorists. That they went to Sokoto State and killed about 20 or 20-something military officers. He gave the number. Police, he gave the number. Nigerian Civil Defense and Security or whatever, he gave the number that were killed one day. And said his place now, his constituency, he can no longer access it. And Mr. President is sleeping. And they are telling us happy with it. I don't know what to call it.
All right.
Sir,
yeah.
I have not finished, sir.
No, just some questions.
Yesterday,
yeah.
my colleague went around the streets of Ogbe Stadium, and there was no fly there in the stadium. No human being, no fly. And the roads were virtually empty. In those days, schools used to go there to march. Like my brother said, they will fly the flag when there was Nigeria. So today, we don't know whether they have sold our country.
Well, Nigeria is existing. That's why you're here.
Thank you.
Bishop Osadolo. Adam Saliu, let's look at the leadership question, because that seems to be a major talking point, that if we get it right, leadership-wise, perhaps we'll be on the trajectory of peace, progress, and development. But it looks like every time we make an effort to get it right with leadership, something happens, something somehow happens that tends to take us backward, and then you're like, what's going on? I mean, you've come a long way with Nigeria and in Nigeria as a practicing journalist. You've seen all of these things, and then many of the countries that were at par with Nigeria, many of the countries that started out with Nigeria, I mean, we know where they are today. Let's take it off from there.
It is unfortunate that as far as leadership is concerned in this country, marriage has been thrown overboard. So many indices now determine who will be the leader. It's very, very unfortunate. That is hard. But before independence, our leaders were there to serve the people, not to serve themselves. People assess you. If you're a fit and proper person, you win an election. With the parliamentary system of government, there was even forum for independent candidates. If you don't want to belong to any political party, you have what it takes to do. You take nomination from a contest, and people won election as independent candidates. But now, political parties, according to the Constitution, Section 65, you must belong to a political party. That party must fill you, and meritocracy has been thrown overboard. So it was in 1979 that Chief Obafemi Awolowo, accountants, lawyer, senior advocate, he lost election to Shagari, was Premier Western Region, etc., etc. We know what he did. Election came 79, he lost to Shagari. Election repeated in 83, he lost. And nowadays, people merely ask, where is your tribe? Which religion do you profess before they can vote? So the leadership question that is predicated on religion, on tribe, nepotism will not lead us anywhere. That is where we are. Otherwise, if we move back and use marriage, a fit and proper person who has what it takes to lead us to El Dorado, Utopia, Promised Land, we shall get it right. Nigerians have an opportunity. In fact, Anambra next month has an opportunity to choose a leader. Next year, I think he said Ondo, Ekiti State, they can only do their election. Culminating in 2023. So let Nigerians forget about tribe, about religion, and look for competence. Until we have square pegs in square holes, Nigeria will not move forward. Right now, many of the leaders are round pegs in square holes.
Reverend Martins, just lap up on that, on the leadership question, because with the array of academicians, technocrats, sound minds that dot the length and breadth of this country, abroad, you find them representing themselves and the country excellently well. Why is it that when it gets to this point of putting up someone of substance, quality, and excellence, somehow we just settle for, you know, I don't know, let me be very civil in my language, or let me not even use any language. and then
yes.
we just get this, we just get here, and then we move on. Why?
It is essentially the process of selection. I had opportunity in one or two occasions to visit where people fry gari, and I saw that the sieve that they use to fry the gari, or the sieve that they use before the cassava is fried, is different from the sieve that they use after the cassava is fried. Then it's a different sieve entirely when you are doing pap or akamu. In other words, the smoother you want the thing to come out, the tinier the holes of the sieve. It's like that too in leadership. If the standards for leadership is lowered, then you're going to have the worst of people incidentally presiding over the best of people. In this country, for instance, what does it require to get a job? The minimum requirement is to be a graduate, at that with a second-class upper in most institutions, and you are required to be young. Now, so you recruit those kind of people, and then in the front end of it, who is supposed to lead them at the political end? The maximum requirement at that level is that the guy should have a WAEC or the equivalent thereof. In other words, he doesn't need any fantastic resume to be a leader in this part of the world. And that's because we are determined, so to speak, to carry a portion of this country along that has become a burden on the nation. In spite of how many leaders, how many heads of state that they have provided, they just continue to turn back the hands of time and then to give us the worst of leadership, you know, as far as Nigeria is concerned. Look at the countries that they're talking about. Look at their resume. Out of the best, is that his stint in Navy SEALs, he was lieutenant, he was a pilot, he was a lawyer, he was this. You select the best. Then from the best, you pick the very best. You come to Nigeria. You look at the resume. You are looking at the worst. He was a former criminal. He was alleged of embezzling. He was alleged of beating his wife. He was alleged of, this is his fourth or fifth wife, as the case may be. Then you array those people. Then you pick the worst of all of them to say, okay, this one that looked like he had killed somebody before, that was alleged to have killed somebody before, may be the best leader. Unfortunately, the leadership is about influence. If you're not able to intellectually influence people, if you're not able to convince them, you're going to use force. And that's why most of our leaders, what do? They use force because they can't engage intellectually. So they must, instead of now being able to sit with people, they're going to use force. They're going to use the force of the police, the force of the, whatever force it is, to whip people in line. Look at Paul Kagame of Rwanda. Look at Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya. Look at Magufuli of South Africa. I mean, look at this guy. These are guys who've got, when you listen to them, many of them speak extempo. So it is natural for people to want to follow that kind of leadership. That's why I say education makes people easy to lead but difficult to enslave. So as long as we have the systems that we have, how many professors? I was at a meeting yesterday and I said, listen, go to Uniben. Uniben, for instance, is running, NDDC comes to run a project there. The engineers that NDDC bring are from outside the university. But the university has a faculty of engineering where they raise civil engineers. In other words, the guys that they brought in from outside were probably taught from the university. But the engineers in the university are not the ones who are presiding over construction that is going on in Uniben, even when it is sponsored by Tech Fund. That's how porous our education systems have become. I went for a lecture once in university, and with all due respect to them, it's like that in every university, whether I come, and I sat down, and right at the center of the hall, the roof was leaking because it was a rainy season. The environment that you create a product determines the kind of product that you bring out of it. Some of us have had to sit down on bare grounds, and it is still obtainable till tomorrow in several universities where you wrote your notes, where you did assignments, and then you struggled to enter into vehicles. I remember a lady in pre-degree back in the days who struggled, by the time she struggled, entered the bus and came down. She found that several things were missing. Her skirt had been torn, her bag was missing, and one leg of her shoe was also gone. She just went to the hostel, packed her things, and never ever came back to the university. If this is how you want me to be educated, I'm not going to go through this education. Our political leaders, or if you like, according to Professor Lumumba, our political misleaders understand that our educational system have become porous. So what do? They move their children abroad, even to the executive vice chairman of the Nigerian University Commission. So if you are supposed to preside over how university is run, you are the Ogang and your children's school abroad, you see the challenge that we have had. So we have begun to gather a couple of pastors, and we started praying that all those who are using Nigeria's money to school their children abroad, their children no go pass. I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying those who are using our own money at the detriment of Nigerian university to take their children abroad, their children will not do well in those institutions, because if you had to school your children in local universities here, you have a stake. If your children live in Nigeria, you have a stake in the security. If your children use the healthcare facilities that the hoi polloi, the proletariat, you have a stake in it. But if you must fly abroad for as common as a headache, as common as a broken fibia or whatever it is, you must fly abroad for it. You won't care what happens in our university, in our health institution. Alas, that's why no smaller person than the first lady can say billions have been voted to Aso Rock Clinic. Yet there is no syringe in the in the Aso Rock clinic. So you can understand that when you have this kind of leadership, the ballot box does not make you an honest person, sir. If you are a criminal, before you approach the ballot for vote, you will just be a legitimate criminal, and it is difficult for the law to pursue a legitimate criminal.
Bishop Osagolo, you've been laughing, so which means probably speaking your mind at this time. We're just on the verge of opening our studio line, so you can also call and be part of the discussion. We are where we are right now for reasons that are obvious, but we ought to be in a certain direction to be able to change the narratives about the country, our country, Nigeria. What, in your opinion, are those steps we need to take, those action that needs to be taken?
First, let me talk of how we got it wrong before we talk of where.
I hope we have all that time.
Now, in our days, you look for credible people to contest election in your village. Retired teachers, principals, civil servants, people they trust, and they sponsor you from your community. But this generation is the one that is looking for money back, criminals. Today, Yahoo, Yahoo. And the next generation, we are going to produce presidents that are stark illiterate, but very worthy. Because the Nigerian politics today is money. You have the money, you buy the vote. and you turn out to lead them in your own way.
Yeah, but let me, I saw something, I think it's Anambra State governorship election. I saw a list of the governorship candidates that were vying to become governor from the major political parties contesting. You look at their profiles, very, very rich and intimidating. Whether it is the PDP or is APGA or is APC, just look at it. So which means that these crop of Nigerians are available. All we just need to do is to give them the opportunity to express themselves.
First and foremost, they are not contesting because of their resume. They are contesting because they have the money to back it. Go and check their record. You will find out that those ones contesting, none of them have done public service work. Most of them, no one was a civil servant or public servant to acquire knowledge of public administration. He may have been a businessman, and from business, they give me job of 30 billion. Oga, take this one take this. I take the remaining one and give the Nigerian the low quality service because everybody have taken a share. And now I'm a rich man. I have the money to buy my vote. That's where we are finding ourselves. So if we must return, which I'm not wishing Nigeria evil, but it's going to be very difficult. Because James Stanley said if you want somebody to follow you, it's impoverished. And he demonstrated it with a chicken. Remove all the feathers of the chicken. The chicken forgot that Stanley James is the one that removed the feather, and it was bleeding. And he took grains of corn and started dropping it. The fowl began to follow till it got to a point. He sat down, and the fowl was waiting there to be fed, forgetting the pains, forgetting who caused the pain. That is what the Nigerian politician and the money bags have done to Nigerians. That they save money for every 4 years. They'll pay us 2 naira or 10 naira for a day, and give, you calculate it, they gave us 5,000 naira as our 4 years salary. So if that is the mindset, okay, and Nigerians are hungry, everybody want to live. God created all of us a doer. Either you now agree to do what is wrong, or you agree to do what is right, but you must do something. There is nobody who folds his hand. Well, even if you fold hand, you are still doing something. So as long as Nigerians are poor and wretched, we will continue to experience negativity in the administration of any area of life.
Okay.
So that is why you have bandits, have so many things, because these are people that have no direction. So anybody that can encourage them, if you can kill this man, I give you 2,000 naira. It's ready to kill to be able to get 2,000.
By Sergeant Saliu, let's quickly get you in here, particularly from the dimension of ethnic agitation. Earlier this week, we heard a story of the death of Dr. Chike Akunyili, the husband of former NAFDAC Director General. I can't remember exactly what happened, but that's not unconnected with the IPOB issue in the southeast. In the southwest, Sunday Igboho and his guys, they're agitating there. In the northeast, and particularly in the north, we have this issue of banditry. Recently, we saw the army going all out against them to take them down. But why that is, if it's happening in Zamfara State, they are striking in Kaduna State. If they are not striking in Kaduna State, they are going to Niger State. I'd like you to distill all of this.
Well, what happens is that militarism is now a pastime. Once you just give any reason for people to come out and demonstrate and fight, you see people carrying placards. At the least invitation, it becomes spontaneous. That of Southeast is very peculiar. Policemen are being killed. Soldiers on duty are being killed. Police stations are being razed down. When I inquired, I was told that people say they don't want federal presence. But it's not the best. Federal government offices, police stations, schools that are owned by governments If they are erased, that will lead to anarchy. It will lead to lawlessness. I don't know why they decide that any government establishment or a government representative should be obliterated. It's very unfortunate. As for the West, the attempt by Igboho, it's a minority resistance. He equally feels Ododuwa should be created here and there. And people are suffering, lives are being lost. Right in the Middle Belt, Benue, everywhere. So the insecurity of life is very worrisome. Chapter 4 of the Constitution from Section 33 to 46 gives us freedom of movement to reside anywhere, have property anywhere. And that is why many Nigerians settled all over Nigeria. But now, you cannot sleep with your eyes closed. You cannot sleep with your doors wide open. So we were told during independence that though tribes and tongues would differ, we stood in brotherhood. Right now, tribes and tongues are different. We don't stand in brotherhood. The labors of our hero past are now in vain. Okay. People fought the war to say, go on with one Nigeria. But now, if you call on people, say, let us go on with one Nigeria, if you organize a referendum, you'll be disappointed at the referendum. So we need to go back to the drawing board and let us still be a united country. The case is not beyond redemption. It depends on the leadership.
Okay. Reverend Olumartins, I heard someone say that the gulf between the North and the South is widened. In the build-up to 2023, Southern governors came up to say, look, the next president must come from the South. And then the Northern governors met just a few days ago to say it's not compulsory that it must come from the South. In fact, zoning is not in the Constitution. What do you make of this? And I don't know how you can tie it to this controversy on open grazing ban. Majority of the states in the South are enacting a law to ban open grazing. Even though, generally speaking, the governors agree that open grazing is archaic, but you still find some elements who are criticizing this stance on the part of the southern governors. Yeah.
Thank you very much. There's a, you are a little bit calm today yourself, so it tells me that even you said it, they worry you. Normally you are a lot more effervescent. So I can tell that even though you are the interviewer, they touch you too. So and that's helping my case. However, sir, is that it is trite in nature that people defer to the clans when the center is weak. It's trite in nature. So once there's no nationalism, people will find respite in their ethnic nationalities. Even Bible tells us the case between Rehoboam and Jeroboam. So your father was harsh. So let me consult. He came back and said, look, my father was harsh. In fact, I'm going to be the epitome of harshness. What happened? The Bible says, they said to your tent, O Israel, overnight. 10 tribes were lost overnight. The man who was controlling 12 tribes lost 10 tribes overnight. So it's strike principle in life. Look at the Americans. They are proud enough to say, I'm an American. And that suffices. Look at Ghana. They say Ghana first. But the moment you feel that you are treated as a less citizen in your own country, you will naturally want to find respite and succor in your ethnic nationality. That's what's giving rise to what's happening in the southeast. That's what's giving rise to what's happening in the middle belt. And all over the nation. Even the northerners, even within the rank and file of the northerners, there are people who feel that a particular tribe is oppressing them. Why? Because with reckless abandonment, with impunity and bold face, people are doing what they are doing, and they are telling the rest of us that, you know what, you can go to hell and there's nothing that you can do about it. It's never been this bad. Perhaps in one of the first times in the history of this country, we see the three major arms of government led by one tribe, whether it is the judiciary, it is the legislature, it is the Federal Executive Council. It is in one direction. Majority, the same thing in security. And so by the time that happens, my father used to tell me that they don't need to tell a deaf man or a blind man, they don't need to tell a blind man that the market is over. The moment he stops to hear the natural cacophony in the market space, he knows that it looks like the market has closed. So people are beginning to say, look, it looks like Nigeria is not interested in us at all. So maybe I should remind myself, like I will always say that, in fact, Yoruba will say Ijebu nation first, before the Yoruba nation, before the Nigerian nation. People are going back to their kit and clan. Perhaps if I go to the Oba Palace and I say, well, yeah, they will recognize that it's because I didn't find identification at the national, so I'm coming home to see if I can see soccer there. Do you realize that people are building homes now? They live in Abuja, they live in Lagos, and they are building homes in their small areas because they don't know where Nigeria is going to. That has led now to the agitation, and it is needless because we have understood before now that when power goes to the north for 8 years, it's a gentleman agreement. It comes to the south for another 8 years. So if you see the southern governors who know better than you and I beginning to say that power should come to the south, they are not just saying so. They didn't say so last year. They were not worried about it last year. It's because they have seen certain handwritings on the wall, and they are saying, look, except we start talking now, he's like a man in the house that is telling the woman, I am the man in this house.
He has lost it.
They didn't change his gender. Either he has lost it or he's telling the woman, you are walking in rebellion. So I need to remind you.
I'm the man of the house.
If another brother tells the younger brother, I senior you. He's trying to tell him that, look, there are certain things that are happening that I'm not comfortable with because nobody is arguing whether he's senior or not. So when you hear the southern governors say, power must come to the north and come to the south, it's because they've realized that with the things that are happening, and the northern people the northern guys, especially the corner, they realize is that whatever makes this power to come back to the south, the guys who are telling us now that they are more Nigerian than us, members of the Cattle Breeders Association, and some of these guys, they know that the moment a southerner takes power, we will dismantle these structures that they have set up. So they want to continue in perpetuity. And that's why I began by saying that the north is fast, especially the core north, is fast becoming a burden to the remaining part, of Nigeria. And that's why these agitations are there. But whether they like it or not, power must come down to the south. Except, I read the president's speech where he says the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable. Needless to remind him too that power sharing between the north and south is also not negotiable if he's interested in our continued stay as a nation. Otherwise, we are just going to probably, unconsciously, it's nature, we're just going to probably adopt the to your tent, O Israel, the biblical story that we know of Rehoboam.
All right, thank you, Reverend Lou Martins. Our studio line is open. You have that number on the screen shortly, 052-290-573. Dial the number and be part of Politics Today on independent television and radio. Please endeavor to be civil in your language. Hello, good morning. You're live on the
Yeah, hello.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, go ahead, please. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Josh. I'm calling from Jerry.
Yes, Josh, go ahead. We can hear you loud and
clear. Yes, I speak as a product of political science, especially Nigerian political history.
Okay.
As I was taught in school by my professors for 5 years or so, I was told that Nigeria was a product of amalgamation by Flora Shaw and Lord Lugard. And I was also told we had freedom from the British colonial power in 1960. So since we have been having elections since then, we've been having conferences, we've been quoting constitution. Nothing seems to be working. Can we revisit those documents that we signed during amalgamation, during the constitutional conferences, during the independent meeting or pre-independent meeting? Divorce is allowed in marriage. So stay together is not by force. It did not say that power is inborn in their blood. We can revisit and renegotiate our stay together. You cannot continue to marginalize a section of the country as if they don't matter. Come on, I'm not a pro. I'm not saying we should break the country, but we can visit those documents and put some things right. If we really want to be called Nigeria, it's not by force to stay in a marriage that is not working. People don't have jobs. People have been killed everywhere. So at least the past 5 to 7 years have been very bad. Security-wise, there is no jobs. Young people are migrating, staying everywhere. Last time I heard 9,000 nurses left Nigeria in 3 months. 12,000 doctors left. Where are we heading to? I think we should come back again and call the British to bring back those documents. And revisit those papers.
All right, John from Tiare, I need to cut you there. Thank you very much. Kola, good morning. What's your name?
Isaac is my name. Isaac Oki is my name.
Where's Isaac? Okay, please turn down the audio level on your TV or radio.
Okay. I'm calling for supplement.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I want to thank the last speaker, the bishop who spoke last concerning this issue. Nigeria, our problem, the Southerners, the problem of the Southerners are the leaders of the Southern part of the country. Our leaders are unpatriotic. Our representatives, that is the governors, the senators, the legislators, they are unpatriotic. They don't know the pain of their people. They don't know they are not after the interests of their people. That is what the northern leaders are capitalizing on, because we have no unity. The southern leaders have no unity, and that is why they are feeling that they can write us like us at any time.
On Nigeria at 61, hello? The focus of our discussion. Good morning. What's your name? Hello? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. Where are you calling us? What's your name? What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, caller. Good morning. Yes. Good morning. What's your name, caller?
Hello. Good morning.
Yes. Tell us your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Comrade Abi. I'm calling from Oleago.
Yes, Comrade Abi, please turn down the audio level on your TV or radio.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to comment, Reverend Lumatis, you have said it all. The problem we are having in Nigeria boils down to the leader. You know, they are not leading us well. No, the senator, the House of Rep member, the House of Assembly member, they don't know the people that voted them in. At the end of the day, after you vote for them, at the end of the day, they don't go back the grassroots again. So I just pray by special grace of God things should work out well. Thank you very much.
All right, Comrade Abi, thank you for your contribution. Good morning, caller. What's your name?
Yes, good morning.
Yes, your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, John from Majari.
Yes, just go ahead, please.
Please, I want to ask the barrister there. I've been enjoying your program. Please, is it possible Nigeria revisit the documents that made this country one, so we can put some things in check, like the love-startedness of the northern dominance over the country.
Okay.
Like there is a saying in
you've asked the question. Be patient enough for the barrister to answer you. You've asked the question, except it's a rhetorical question.
Yes, I'm asking him to help me answer it after my call.
So,
and secondly, please.
Yes.
Why are the Northerners always saying that Nigeria is their farm, that the whole country has been given to them by somebody we don't even know?
Okay, let me stop you there now, George, so we can stay on course. Let me stop you there. But Alam Sali will respond to you shortly. Hello, caller. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and then go ahead with your contribution. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please turn down the audio level on your radio or television. You can hear the feedback. Yeah, good morning.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Chris. I'm calling from Teddy Sakola.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Yes, I think the problem is psychophancy, hypocrisy, nepotism, tribalism, and then a group of people believe that they have a hegemony over the South, over the people, particularly the South. So if Nigeria and then the South is carrying a body that is too heavy, very heavy burden on them, but they're not going to detach from this burden. If the South agrees by themselves to detach from this burden, then we will be better off than for us to start to enslave ourselves to people who are not able to do anything for this country to benefit.
Okay.
That's my humble submission. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, well, back to our panelists here, so call it a wrap. No matter how bad the situation is, we're grateful to go where we are. But it could have been better. I mean, there are things we could do to make things better. So, by the time when somebody asks a question that there were certain documents at independence that were signed that Nigeria is an amalgam. I mean, if you did a bit of chemistry, you will know that when you have an amalgam, they are not chemically united. This one retains its property, that one retains property, but somehow you're able to blend them together, fuse them together. If you subject it to some chemical reactions, all the component parts will just go. So that's probably what the situation is. So are there documents, those documents, do they still exist?
Yes, there was amalgamation of the Northern and Southern protectorates, unitary system.
Okay.
That's why we went into a unitary system. He tried to say that why is one side of the country monopolistic? The Constitution does not have the word zoning, as it were. Okay. It enumerates the qualities. You must be such and such of age, you must belong to a political party, you must be fielded by that political party. That is a de jure situation, meaning de jure according to law. Anybody can contest. But in a de facto situation, according to facts, during politics, we were all alive in 1999 when the northern part of Nigeria did not field the candidates. Because Abiola was shortchanged, they were advised to stay clear. And so it was Olufalaye and Obasanjo that contested the election. So this is policies. It's a de facto situation on ground, which will appeal to them that Northerners have been on board for 8 years. Constitutionally, anybody is free to contest, but don't field any candidate. Let us remain. The rotation was voluntary. It was not written down.
Yeah, my question is rhetoric in the manner of speaking. I know that the General Muhammadu Buhari, now President Muhammadu Buhari, contested for the 4th time before he won. So you're asking yourself, if you contested for 4 times, what were you determined to show Nigerians? Because the indices on ground, for somebody who kept contesting, it means that there was something that they had to offer. So if we have gotten to where we are today, the question is that contesting determinately 4 times, what did you want to show us? Maybe we have seen enough or more than enough.
See, where there is no justice, there can never be peace. And where there is no righteousness, there can never be justice. So if Nigeria want to get it right, let them follow justice.
Okay, hello,
there is a law we all are bound to obey.
What's your name? Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Believe Alabama.
Okay, please.
Calling from Aso Rock.
Go ahead, please, with your contribution.
I want to say thank you to all of them. They are all speaking well. But my contribution, sir, if Nigeria will go well tomorrow, let us remove money from politics. If all our leaders have been paying 250,000, 200,000, you will see that the Agberus will go away from politics. And you will see that those who are learned will be the one to come into the affairs of this country. So if we can do this, it will go a long way to help this country. Look at Ghana and other countries. They don't bring in Agberus to lead. This is my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You are our last caller for today, and we thank you very much for being a part of the program.
And God bless you.
God bless you too.
Arasa.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's our show for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to join us next week, Saturday. Another edition is in the offing, and I'm sure we'll have more things to talk about in the in the development of Nigeria. Bishop Osadoloche, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Martins,
Perhaps we'll have a refreshment after the independence refreshment.
I don't know about that. But it's time to do. Thank you for coming. And to all our viewers and listeners, we appreciate you. Thank you for staying with us. And once again, happy Independence Anniversary in Areas. Bye for now.